Hello, Janet from another planet. How are
Hello,
you?
how are you?
I'm fine.
Oh,
My name is Stephen, and tonight we'll be discussing the slob comedy Lady Ballers in the theme of Caddyshack, or better, Caddyshack 2. So, one of our friends decided to buy us a membership to this Daily Wire Plus, and this movie's coming out. We were going to watch it anyway. So we watched the movie, and you're going to get a few different perspectives from my half the screen throughout the course of our discussion. Can you hear me just fine? I'm
I hear
not
you.
talking into a radiator, am I? Did
I can hear
somebody
you.
steal my catalytic converter?
I hear you.
Okay. Janet, what is on your face?
That's my 5 o'clock shadow.
Oh God.
I forgot to shave today, but
We
that's
both
okay. I'm
we
still,
both
I'm all woman, baby.
are all there now, aren't we?
All
Okay.
day and all night long. There you go.
So this movie, I'm going to do some very different takes on it initially because I think it's important to discuss what we have available.
Hmm.
I think this movie is very good at what it does. However, no phone, you cannot fuck this up for me. Okay. Now, we watched this movie. What was your take of it? And if you would like to, a non-spoiler review, that'd be fine.
Well, then we can't really talk about it. You
Yes,
can't
then
talk
we
about
have to.
anything.
This is a good movie because we're about to spoil it.
Yeah,
And
that's
whenever, like, if we were to talk about the Marvels, that would be a spoiler risk-free review because there's no worry about that turd that came out of Marvel.
mhm.
Marvel gave us a turd.
Well, you could spoil it with me because I'm not going to go see it anyways.
Don't worry, I won't either. I like Monica Rambeau from the comics back in the 90s when she was hot, and I used to fap to her quite frequently. Anyway, so this movie, how would you describe this film to your friend, Miss Janet from another planet?
Well, I've already talked to a few people about it, and
Oh, I'm
I think
sure
it's
they're
really
here.
good. I think it's
One of
I
your
think
friends is
it's
here
really
right
good
now.
comedy. I
Mr.
thought,
Bush McFadden is here right now. Look, there he is.
mhm.
Hey,
I
Bush.
thought I thought it was really good. I thought it had a really good story and it had a good um, message to tell people, and not in a beat you over the head with a bat message way, like the left seems to always want to do to everyone. So I thought it was subtle, but it was to the point, and everything was factual. I felt because them wanting to play basketball as and play against women by putting on a wig, and that made them a woman, was just as much I'm a man just because I put this mascara on my face. So
That's weird. You're
I'm
saying
gender
that
fluid.
you vacillate between the genders just
That's right.
because you've said I'm now a man, right?
Yeah, remember the line that one of
Yes.
the brothers used, and he said, "So I can be a lady while I'm playing basketball, but I can be a man in bed at night."
Indeed.
Remember
That's
that?
how it works.
So, hmm so that's me. I mean, I can be a man right now. I'm a woman. Pretend to be a man. Pretend to be a woman. Just like Victor Victoria, right? But
Correct.
I mean, to me, I'm as much of a man as they are women. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
I don't have to get rid of my boobs. I don't have to do anything. I just have to put on a fake beard.
Don't get rid of your
All of a
boobs.
sudden, I'm a man. You know? So why not? I mean, I'm as a real man as those guys were women.
So if you were to decide that I'm Janet and I could go two ways, I could either accept life and get that AARP discount for Denny's,
Yeah.
or I could just say I'm trans age. I'd like a crayon mat and coloring items. And look, she's showing the girls. Yes. Anyway, so if somebody wanted to just say I'm trans age, they could enlist in a T-ball tournament right now.
Well, if they were too old, and they had to use a walker or whatever to get around, I don't think it would be to their advantage. You know what I mean?
They're trying to die now.
Everybody, what's it say?
If Janet dies, that wig gray with a few white and black streaks, she could be Beetlejuice.
Yeah, that's right.
You could. And Tree Rock Creations is screaming, no.
Well, it's believable though, right? I mean,
It is.
Couldn't you see me in the Olympics? You know,
I could see you not podiuming. Yes, I could definitely see you not on the podium at the end. Yes.
Yeah, I wouldn't be. I wouldn't be, because men do win everything. That's why it's so stupid. That's why they separated women's and men's sports, because women cannot compete against men.
Women can compete against men.
Well, they compete, but they're not going to win.
Exactly.
Unless you took the little guy with the beard, that that played the Dylan Mulvaney.
Felix, of all names he had, Felix was his name.
I know, but he was playing the Dylan Mulvaney characters when you saw him laying on the bed and doing all the social media. Oh my God, it was so funny. I laughed so much. But when he was doing all that, now that guy, I could probably beat him in a real sport.
John,
some sort.
But
But
you're a man, you have to adjust your balls. You have to shift the larger one.
Oh, that's right. I got to show everybody. See, I'm ready to play. I got my tube socks on and my high heel tennies. So I'm ready. I'm ready to play some b-ball. Oh, I just love this movie though. It was really good. Everyone who hasn't seen it, you guys have got to go see this movie or buy it, or it's not at theaters, right? Enough. You have to buy it online.
You have to actually get the subscription to Daily Caller.
Okay. Well,
or you have to have a friend. Somehow you have to have a friend that finds the video data and then uploads it to a server of their choosing. One of those two things. For the paywall, I think the package I've got is $149 for Daily Wire. They've got discounts. They do have a freebie period, or they had one like 2 weeks ago. I don't know if they still have that, but hold on. I'm going to transition. I'll be right back.
Uh-oh. I just want to say that I had a really good time last night when we got to watch this movie all together with a bunch of us in Discord, and I laughed and laughed, and I turned my mic off a few times because I realized, oh my God, I can't stop laughing. I'm ruining it for everyone else. But it really was a good movie. It really was.
As a confused modernist, I really think this movie really succeeds on a lot of levels. This movie was just an amazing film. It was so stunning. It was so brave. And this movie was just off the chain. It was balls deep, buried to the hilt of the shaft, and they went full bore into it tonight. I was so happy to see it. And I've not seen a movie where so many crotches crammed in people's faces. It was like watching a bukkake festival.
Yes, it was. And those slow motion scenes.
Yes, all of them. Glorious 24 frames a second. I do think the movie is a little problematic, though. As a confused modernist, if you were one of those people laughing, you're hating on the same people you hate on. It's not funny. That's just ugly. That's just terrible. You're a terrible person if you just do that all the time. The overlook of woke signage in the yards of people who hug, endlessly expanding acronyms of gender fluidity, passes one swing and a miss after another. All these movies jokes just fell flat. They just fell flat for me. I was looking for a movie that was had diversity of thought, and this movie just didn't. I don't know why everybody wants to see it.
I thought it was definitely worth seeing, and I'm definitely going to watch it again. And it's been 4 or 5 people that I was able to talk to that are really excited about getting to watch it that hadn't got to see it yet. So, because it was really good, and it was really nice to watch a movie that I could actually laugh at, and not feel like they were going to force me to, the gulag or something for laughing at it. It was good. I mean, it was really good entertainment.
This is, and I'm going to just speak as Bruce the rest of the time.
Mm-hmm.
I've not seen a movie that was a comedy in the last 5 years. I've tried to watch movies that were comedies, and about 30 minutes into it, I'm painting miniatures so much that I'm just done. I turn it on UFO or Bigfoot stuff, and I'll get more out of that because occasionally they'll have nice scenery or somebody will say something interesting or something like that. But this movie really went into comedy that existed before 2015.
Definitely.
And I actually want to say, while I was watching it, I was feeling like this movie could be sandwiched between Orgasmo and Basketball.
Oh,
And you
yeah.
could watch the 3 of those movies.
Mm-hmm.
You could watch Basketball and Orgasmo on the bookends of the credits of this film, and you'd be fine. This movie completely, if you enjoy that type of humor that just smacks everybody in the room, it doesn't give a shit. Everyone's getting a hand. Everybody getting a hand. And you all know the comedy that does that. This movie knocked it out of the park. Jeremy Boring, which if I was him, I would get. He's got the money. He should get a different last name. In fact, that's my only complaint. Get a new last name, Jeremy. This movie
not boring.
Yeah, he wasn't boring. And there's a video where he's talking about his razor blades, and he is got his luxurious manly beard, and he takes his hands ever so softly down a very buff individual's clean shaven face, and that's the most homoerotic thing you'll ever get out of me. What I just did there. And then the next scene, whenever he's walking, he grabs a flamethrower and he burns something. Jeremy Boring is not a boring guy. This movie is in the same level of comedy and fucking hilarity as Basketball and Orgasmo. If you like those 2 movies, you're going to love this movie. The first 2 acts, especially, they're laugh out loud funny. Janet, I had my mic on mute for the most of it. Janet, I'm hearing her just roll on the floor. Yeah,
it was really, really, really well done, and it wasn't slapstick either. It wasn't. That's what I was expecting. I was expecting a bunch of just dumb guys, like. What was the name of that TV show where they glued the guy to his chest and dumb stuff like that?
Oh, Jackass.
Yeah, Jackass. I was expecting it to be kind of like that. Or the movie Elf, it was mostly slapstick humor, something like that I was expecting. But when I got to watch it, and it actually had a really cute story, a couple that's getting divorced and they have a young daughter, and they're
hold on. The 3rd member of that family, or 4th member of that family, we can't not talk about, because that was funny as hell.
The boyfriend.
The boyfriend, I don't think he was a boyfriend. I don't think his dick ever entered that relationship.
No,
I think his dick his shit hung so limp in his pants thanks to all the miserable soy product he had. And I feel sorry for the
yoga
stereotype.
baller.
This movie goes after stereotypes with wild aplomb.
Yes, for
Get
sure.
used to it.
Mhm.
It really did a good job of going after all the problems in our quote unquote woke society. In our society, we live in a society. I think this movie did really good with it, and I thought I was there's not a part of this film that I thought really needed work. Even the third act, which, hey guys, have you ever been forced to watch a Christian movie, and the Christian movie is good for the first two acts because you have characters established, get conflict, and you have drama, and then the third act comes and it turns into like, you need to be saved by Jesus now. You know what I'm
Mhm.
talking about.
Yeah.
I was worried the third act was going to do that. I was worried the third act was going to be, you guys need to stop being Democrats and get over here with the grand old party. Please don't.
It
Please don't.
wasn't.
It didn't do that.
Uh-uh.
It does not do that.
I loved the way they ended the movie.
It
That was
did. There is a portion of the climax where they don't hold this against the film. On reflection, I felt like I was watching a script unfold on film where the guy that wrote the script had watched too many episodes of Full House, and they thought that they could get to this point, and there's a couple different ways around this point, but instead, let's wheel out the kids. And you know what I'm talking about when I say that, because in Full House, when they would hit a dull spot in the script, here's Mary Kate and Ashley Olsen and the entire fucking audio track. Oh, and like you're like,
I
oh
didn't
fuck.
get that at all from it. I thought they were adorable, but
Well,
the
hold on.
purpose they did it.
On reflection,
Mhm.
during the movie itself, I have no problem with it. But on reflection, I think the script writer said, like, we could do it almost as poorly as Full House, but we've got the best tarted up script you've ever watched on film. And
Mhm.
they take all the bells and whistles, they made it stretch. That money they spent on the sets, on the script, on the actors, everything came through. And when they wheel out the little girls to go face off against these huge black basketballers, which there's a reference in there you guys will get, and that's where all the shorts cock in the face. 90% of all the shots of that are in that like three scenes or in 3 minutes of the movie previous to that, where the lady ballers go up against these new substitutions.
Yeah,
And
it was a halftime. It was after
yeah,
halftime, right?
so the
Yeah.
halftime swatcheroo comes around and they wheel out five little kids. One of them is the 8-year-old daughter for
Well,
Jeremy's
wait a
character.
minute. Before you do
Okay.
that, remember they were playing, and that's when the other team was sick of losing. Remember? So they brought
Yeah.
in their
The Cowgirls,
version of
the
guys,
Lady Ballers.
lady ballers. Yeah, their version, the cowgirls or whatever it was, and they were huge, real. They looked like real basketball players.
They did.
So they were going to get their ass kicked, even though they were guys. They thought it was so easy to beat those girls, which it was. Now they're going to play against real competition. So the coach for the guys that were going to get their ass kicked, the lady ballers, realized, well, if we're gonna lose, at least we're gonna look good losing, right?
Mhm.
So what better way then to bring in the five little girls, basketball players that are tiny, and after his daughter had went to her dad and said that, Daddy, I want to be a boy. And he's like, why? And she said, because boys win at everything. You know, they're better at basketball, they're better at football, they're better at all sports, by swimming, everything. And then, but then he reminded his daughter, remember, he said, but your mommy brought you into this world. And no man can do that. So
Yeah.
basically, he showed, I'm going to get emotional thinking about it. It was so good. He showed everyone that even though a woman can't compete against a man at football, or running or any of these other things, because our bodies are not made the same. But the reason our bodies are different is because together we make life.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And you need a mother and a father, a male and a female genetically, to be able to do that. And by me painting this beard on my face does not make me any more of a man than putting on a wig makes a man into a woman. And that's why I wanted to wear this outfit, basically. It's because this is exactly what's wrong with everything right now, is that if you have a guy that wants to say he's gender fluid, right, and he puts a wig on, now he can go in the women's locker room. Just because he put a wig on, it's still a man. It's a biological man with all the parts of a man. But because he puts a wig on, he's allowed to go into the women's bathroom or the women's changing rooms, stuff like that. And that comment that the one guy said in the movie, the one basketball player said that, wow, this is cool. I can be a woman out on the court, but a man when I go to bed at night, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
So they can pick and choose whatever they want. And I could do the same thing if I wanted. I could go in and say, well, I put this fake 5 o'clock shadow on, so I want to be treated like a guy. You better address me as Mr., which is ridiculous. But the fact that in real life, in real society, I can put Mr. on my driver's license or whatever, and people have to address me as a man. And that's repulsive to me. I'm a woman. I was born a woman. I've had to go through puberty as a woman, wear training bras and do all that stuff. And I just think it's wrong. I just think it's so wrong for anyone to be able to come and tell me that they're more of a woman than me simply because they can kick my ass because they put on a wig. I don't know. I just think it's ridiculous. So I just thought this movie was really good at showing that, but not just that part of it. They made fun of other things. They made fun of Bud Light when they were drinking the beer.
They'll give you any and all money if you've got a dick and you wear a dress.
Yeah. So basically, the whole concept of the story was basically 5 guys that used to play basketball, and they were the champions in their school, right? But now they're older and they're all just doing their whatever it is that their life pushed them into, or the choices they made. And the coach finds out that, wow, you can enter this contest and win $5,000 if you, can win it, whatever, actually win it. And the way that they knew they could win was because they'd compete against women. Because why not? You just put on a wig and you're a woman. It's that easy. So, think about it. We have Olympics now. We get Olympics that a man can just tuck his dick in his bathing suit.
The oppression Olympics.
And tell everybody that I feel like a woman today because I'm gender fluid. And he can swim against all the women, and women that have been competing since they were 10 can't beat them. So it's sad because she can't beat him. It's because physically she's not meant to beat him. She's meant to give birth one day. So she should be competing against other women that are supposed to give birth. That means they have a uterus and ovaries, not a man that has testes and testosterone. So we're definitely not going to get monetized for this for this show tonight. But oh well,
Which is why we're also streaming over on Rumble.
So
let me get you that live stream information for Rumble there. If you guys, if we go dark over here, I'll get this. Here we go.
And I'm sorry for all the men that showed up tonight thinking I was going to be dressed up as that hot lawyer, or what was it? What was she? Oh, the news lady.
A journalist. She has no shame.
Journalist. But I decided I'd rather do this because to me, this is the truth. I'm no more a man by putting this on my face than a guy is putting this on his head.
Yeah.
Doesn't change anything about me. Doesn't change one thing about me, except that I'm wearing mascara on my face, on my chin. I mean, that's it. That's all it changed. It doesn't change my
all it
voice.
is.
It doesn't change my thoughts. It doesn't change my sexual drive. It doesn't do any of that stuff. It might change your sexual drive because you see me with a beard, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
But the thing is that it's a fact. That is a factual thing in life. Is that I'm not a woman just because I put, or a man is not a woman just because he puts on a wig,
See,
or it says he is.
I thought this movie hit it the nail on the head so well so many times. There's a few jokes that fall flat.
Oh yeah, it
But I
wasn't.
mean, you're gonna have that.
Mhm.
You're just gonna have that in comedy. I mean, you're gonna have jokes that when they say them on set to each other, it's funny as shit. Does it translate to camera? No. Um, this is a fantastic film, and I think this is one of the few times where I've said in modern era that I can't wait to see this movie again because I'm actually kind of at that point right now where
Yeah, me too. I've been thinking about it all day, and how funny it was, and the story that went along with it. And you get to see a very good relationship between a dad and his daughter,
Mhm.
and he happens to be a coach, and you get to see what it was like in the past when he was a coach, when he was younger, and then you get to see him in the future was his coach with these young kids that don't give a shit about winning or anything. They could care less. They only taking phys ed because they have to graduate, right?
Yeah.
So they rather sit on their phones and not worry about it. So it was just a really good point of view. And then you had his car, and he was like, you know, because it was smoking real bad and everything because his catalytic converter had been stolen in the parking lot of the school. You know, just this little things that it's all it to me it was a lot of things that we all deal with, but the fact that his daughter, he picks her up from school and she mentions that one of her friends at school that she got to see his penis. And he's like, what? To his young daughter in the back seat, and she's like, well, so and so has a penis, and she's this, and he goes, it's not a she if she's got a penis, and she goes, yes it is, daddy, they said so, you know, that girls can have penises now, you know, and stuff like that. But this is factual stuff, and we're laughing at it, and it was funny, but the fact is they're really teaching kindergartners, first graders, second graders, third graders, all the way up to graduation, that if I have a penis, I can be a woman, which is factually impossible. If you look at the science, you know, it's just that they say science all the time, but they don't mean it. I don't know what science they're talking about.
I don't know what they're talking about when they say follow the science. I don't get that. I look at people funny whenever they say, don't you understand science? I'm like, yeah, I do. Actually, one way you understand it is to ask questions. I need to verify what you're doing here, Mr. Science. I need to verify what you're doing here, Mr. Science. And that's how you fucking prove that your scientific theory is proper and it's true. Or are we going back to the blackboard and trying to figure out where the fuck your shit fell apart at?
Uh-huh.
And that's just something that more people should say more often. Um, there is a sad part to this movie, and I noticed it last night when we watched the credits. The credits, by the way, do watch the credits because you get some extra bits there. With
And there's an Easter egg.
it has a good Easter egg.
Yeah.
I'll
That
just
being
say
said,
that.
after the
But
credits.
they have a memorial in memory of Donovan Marshall Johnson, who he was known for Cowgirl #9.
Oh, is that what you were
And
bringing up?
yeah,
That
that's what I'm
I
bringing up.
kept talking over. Bring it up again. I'm sorry. I was
No, no,
not.
no, no. Yeah, the Steel Dawn beard is what Six
Uh,
Nations, 31 Kings brought up, and Steel Dawn is a really bad. It's one of the worst movies that Pat Swayze ever did to pay off a ransom, or I mean a mortgage note.
yeah, I don't think I saw that.
We'll watch it one of these days. It's worth it. This character right here, this guy, this stud Donovan Marshall Johnson, uh, he was headed back and had a traffic accident in Louisville, Louisville, Kentucky. Born on May 25th, 1992. Thanks for making me feel old, you fucker. He died in that car wreck, and he played professionally in several countries, including Argentina, Chile, the UK, France, Greece, and Paraguay. He was an actor in this movie, and he was Cowgirl number 9. I just wanted you guys to see his face. That way, if you wanted to know about what the hell was this about, why is there an in memory on here? It's this character, this Chad right here. He was one of the cowgirls. At the end of the movie, you'll understand what I'm saying. But sadly, he passed away in the summertime of this year. And we'd like to raise a glass and toast and thank you for the laughs you gave us. Even though you didn't have any lines in the movie, you did provide an imposing presence. And
they were really good. And they looked like they had a really good time and laughed a lot.
Yeah.
I'd love to see the outtakes.
God, I would love to see the outtakes in this movie.
I would love to see them because I guarantee everyone was rolling. there was a lot of laughing going on. And the fact that there was a couple of cameos in the movie too. That made it really funny. Especially when you saw different people that you recognize. So I thought it was good.
I mean, if you're into poli-sci, if you're a poli-sci major, or if you're a individual that likes the Daily Wire, don't worry. All of them have a part to play in this film. All of them. Mm-hmm. There's even people that are from the Babylon Bee at the start of this movie. The girl from the Babylon Bee the black guy. Okay. The black guy at the end of the movie that's seated. Now I have to go research this. I believe he was arrested.
Oh.
The first night this happens. Let me go to Bing, find this. But there's a girl and guy. They did like 5 or 6 episodes of Babylon Bee. They moved from California to Texas. And it's kind of a funny little situation where they show all of the things you go through as a new Texan. LADYBALLERS actor arrested. Okay. So anyway, kind of weird how this all happens. Yeah, I know.
Oh. Well, David says that he didn't finish the movie. He paused it when they recruited the car salesman and never finished. Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
Because I thought it was, I watched the whole thing and it was really, really good, I thought. Had a really good character arcs for everyone. Even the little girl, the daughter, she learned a lot about, and at the very end, that's what I liked about the ending of it. After she had talked to her dad about she wanted to be a boy because boys always win. They're good at everything. Girls aren't good at anything. And when he was trying to show her that you can still play and not always win, you know what I mean? And at the end, remember, you saw the cowgirls, helping pick up the little bitty girls and helping them make baskets and stuff. And at the end, you saw that the score was like 800 and something. And that was funny because they were actually playing against grown men.
Yeah. They let the girls play for like 6 minutes, and the little girls tried doing a set routine on them, and that was cute. They're little girls. They're like 8 years old. They're not going to win.
It was the story behind it, not so much the fact. Because basically, watching the grown men playing against the little 8-year-old girls wasn't much different than, like that one guy at the game when they were playing basketball, and the guys came out and they were playing dressed as women. They were kicking all the women's asses, right? And they were like, you see all the crotch shots where the women are getting the crotches of the guys in their face because they were trying to shoot the ball. That was like a little bit of slapstick. But the thing is, it was showing how they were creaming these girls. There was just no way that these girls could compete. And then you had the guy in the crowd that says, great, we get to actually watch real basketball, right? So they had little things like that that were funny, making fun of women's basketball, but they were making fun of it in a way that we used to laugh at everything, when, people could laugh at everything and nobody took offense to it. But today, all the little things that you saw, like they're drinking the beer and the guy goes, this beer tastes like shit. And he goes, oh, it's Bud Light or whatever. Just all the little things, like the little jabs here and there.
Yeah.
And about the journalist woman who's using sex or whatever to get the guys to do whatever she asked them to do. And it was showing what do you call it? Cucked, how cucked all these guys were, just because a girl would tie you up and lick you on the side of the face and stuff. Does that mean you're going to just tuck it in and bend over and do whatever she tells you? No, you shouldn't, just things like that. I just thought all of that, everything that they brought up, all these little tiny slights that they had in there.
Little tiny thing.
Yeah, they were all small, but it was funny. You couldn't help but laugh at everyone because it showed you how stupid we've all been.
Yeah.
The last 4 or 5 years, man, we've just handed over the men's been handing their balls over on a platter, and the women cut their boobs off and handed them to the guys, basically. Where's the uproar about giving up our manhood and our womanhood for culture? I mean, what? For what? What was wrong with a woman walking down the street and having guys go whistling at her? Why would I loved it. I like it. I think it's great. It's a compliment if somebody whistles at you. I've whistled at guys, I don't know. I just want to go back to where people can actually be themselves. What's wrong with being a girl? If I want to show cleavage because I'm a woman, I'm not going to go, oh my God, he's looking at my boobs. I mean, what? Well, that's why I show cleavage, because I want guys to look at my boobs. That's common sense. I want to go back to an era of common sense, where if I see a guy that's got a nice ass, I'd be able to say, hey, he's got a nice ass. What's wrong with that? I mean, why do we have to stop doing that? Why do we have to stop being a man or a woman? Why can't we be a man and a woman? Why can't we? Why did somebody think that's wrong? I don't understand. Because this movie was made simply for the fact to show how stupid our society is right now.
Mm-hmm. Part of that stupid. All right, let's talk about January 6th. This guy was there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And he was holding the door open for the cops. And the cops were helping him direct traffic in the building. He's on camera for like a minute and a half.
Yeah.
And 3 years ago, 20 FBI agents dressed in TAC gear raided his North Hollywood home just before 6 a.m. on a Thursday. 6 months after the infamous day in 2021. So they have the Capitol breach information from Stop Hate, a Texas-based activist group, which shows you communists will live anywhere. They're communists here in Texas. It's a shame we're trying to help them. Ryan Reynolds themselves. We don't want them to be part of us. We want them to go lay down in a ditch and cover themselves with dirt. That's what we want to have happen with every communist in the country, not just the ones that have a membership at Stop Hate. All the communists. Anyway, so he's at the threshold of the door for maybe a minute, even helping police direct the flow of foot traffic out the door. What type of crime is that? The group wrote in a December 2nd post. She reposts all this on his X account. So he says, I was raided 2 years ago and recently arrested and charged on the 30th of November, almost 3 years later. They have a GoFundMe set up to him. He also starred in Babylon Bees, Californians Moved to Texas series.
Mm-hmm.
This is Seth Dillon, CEO of satire website, called his arrest political persecution. And no, I'm not going to try to pronounce his name there. No. So this guy seems like a real nice fella, real easy guy to get along with. He's in the movie for about all of 3 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
But he's the night that it premiered, I believe, is when all this happened. And so there he is, like with his posse. And he's been in a lot of other things. He was in NCIS Los Angeles. He was in SWAT, did Weapon. Also did the first ever feature-length comedy for LADYBALLERS. But this guy, he's being politically persecuted because he has the wrong mindset and he's making somebody look bad. Can't do that.
Well,
Can't
I'm
make
probably
fun.
going to get arrested tonight too.
Yeah.
What's up? If I'm not making videos, you guys will know I'm in the clink. So
This right here, Owen Schroyer finally got out of jail for the January 6th nonsense, just in time for Alex Jones to get back on Twitter with InfoWars. I'm loving that.
isn't he the guy that worked for InfoWars?
I believe he is.
He's going to be interviewed by Tucker.
Mm-hmm. And he's
tomorrow
going
or
to have a lot to say. I can't
Yeah.
wait to hear it.
I can't wait. I think it's great. But the thing is it's sad that we had to go through all this shit. You know what I mean? We had to go through all this stupid shit for people to finally go, what happened?
Listen,
It's like,
we
is
still
everybody
haven't,
stoned? I mean, what is it?
we haven't taken the CCP and rubbed their face on the asphalt yet. After 3 weeks of being in a hospital because their shitty ability to keep their virus experimentation within a building and not share, because of their shitty ability to do that, I got sick and other people got sick. Some people died.
Mhm.
I just want the CCP to experience lots of pain and suffering. And if it means that we've got to show repeat Christian movies over and over and over to them, that's fine. If it means we got to show them, I don't know, not PewDiePie. He's actually funny, but just some comedian on the left. Bullshit. Bruce, stop mowing the ground. Sorry. Okay. Grumpy's like, I wasn't born here, but I grew up with the exact opposite of what they are trying to turn America into. It's sad and enraging. Yeah,
It is.
We don't like it either.
Why did we all sit around and just let this happen to us? That's what I'm flabbergasted.
That's the part that I'm a little upset about.
Is that we did it. We let them do this. We're letting them teach a kindergartner that if a man puts a wig on, he is now a man. And we're supposed to be parents. We're supposed to protect our children from liars, and thieves and criminals and all this stuff. And if a woman teacher at school started taking hormones, so she started growing 5 o'clock shadow, well, now she's telling the kids, I'm a guy now. I'm a man. If I take these pills, I'm a man now. And we let them. To me, it's shocking. I've said this, I know many times. I've never dressed up to prove my point, but this movie gave me the opportunity to do that, because putting a wig on does not make you a man. I mean, make you a woman. And me putting this fake beard on with mascara does not make me any more of a man than the man that was swimming on the women's swim team. It's ridiculous, but we let them do this to us. And then they've had to make this movie to show us how dumb we are for letting society do this to us, take our rights away and cram this down our throat. This doesn't make any sense to me. I'm shocked over all of it. But I laughed my butt up over this movie simply for the fact that all of it was true. And we did it. And we're letting them do it right today. The same thing. So, we'll be probably putting another mask on our face here in a couple more weeks when they tell us that some other new pandemic is in place. And we'll be lining up to get more shots and whatever else they want.
If you bring the CCP if you bring Z over to San Antonio or within 100 miles, I may take a day off and I might get more famous. That's your promise.
Well, I just wish I understood it. I maybe I'm glad I don't, Maybe I should be happy that I don't understand, because that means I'm
Second choice would be
brainwashed.
Soros's kid. Who is that guy? Zelensky. He's
Mm.
Soros's kid. Look at the two fuckers. Look at those ugly fucking people. That's got to be Soros's kid. I can't believe some woman actually wants to fuck that. That's what, like, the downfall of civilization is letting that thing propagate.
Well, is
And
he rich?
yes, he's rich. He's a
Okay, well
fucking
that's what you
CM.
got. I mean, I've had conversations with young guys, you know, like I guess in their 30s and a little younger than that, talking about different people, like what's her name, the horse face girl, whatever her name is, used to be a bartender. Can't remember that. She's like a representative now, a state representative.
AOC.
Yeah, AOC. Okay. And they're all talking about how hot she is and how attractive she is, but she's dumber than a box of rocks and all this stuff. And I'm like, what, you talk about banging her and stuff? And they're like, yeah, I'd bang her. And I'm like, so you would sleep with someone, even though you think they're repulsive because they're stupid and their point of view of politics, but you still sleep with them. So you're running a risk of having a child with someone you can't stand and bringing a child into the world that you're going to have to take care of for 18 years while you fight with this person. Why is that considered smart, or that someone would want to do that? I don't understand that. I cannot understand any of it. None of it sinks in. So the fact that people will just have sex with anyone just because they're attractive, instead of trying to find someone that's on an intellectual basis with you, you know, or agrees with you in politics or religion or anything, is Tinder. See, it's all these crazy, dumb websites, or a few drinks at the bar, or a couple tokes on a joint, or whatever it is, lowers your intelligence level enough to where you'll just sleep with whatever. I'm not talking about just guys. Women do the same thing. Okay, women do the same damn thing. I mean, I had a woman that someone I know that used Tinder, okay, which I think is dumb, because you shouldn't pick someone up and bring them to your house if you don't know who they are.
Every time that somebody tells me a Tinder story, it is always better than a gambling story, because gambling stories in the same way. They're like, I was up $2,100, or I was up 13,500. You know, and
Well,
they
the
were
thing is,
talking.
she picks up this guy and they do the nasty or whatever, and she tells me how much fun it was or whatever, and then she doesn't see him for months, but then they start seeing each other on a more frequent basis, and they decide to be boyfriend and girlfriend, which is, you know, started in the middle. Now they're having a relationship. Well, then she's like, okay, it's his birthday's coming up, I want to get him something. And I'm like, well, get him some nice silk pajamas. It's too personal. I'm like, how can that be too personal when you're having sex? I mean, to me, that's the most personal thing you could possibly do. See, that doesn't make any sense.
Probably not having the right sex.
I'm on the wrong planet or something, because that is totally ass backward, you know.
She's probably burning his neck on a furnace or something. I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But see, I don't. And then people
Janet, do you lick guys on the cheek?
The thing is that why relationships don't work is because people are jumping into relationships in the middle of the relationship, and they don't know shit about each other. You know, you don't know nothing. You're ending up risking having a child with someone when you don't know squat about them.
Wait,
You know?
we shared an orgasm, but yet you're anti-abortion? How dare you?
Yeah, I mean, all that stuff. I mean, I think it's stupid. It doesn't make any sense.
This is why this movie hit the high notes for me. I mean, I know that this movie, it's in part of my rating is because it's in 2023, and I've just endured a year of listening to people talk about Dylan Mulvaney and Jeremy Marsh, although that guy's not getting a lot of airplay lately. I wonder what happened. Did somebody finally find out where he was because he was trying to talk to kids? Boy, that'd be fun. God, I want to videotape that meeting just for science. there's a lot of things that like this year has like hit me on low notes of, and it goes from movies because all the movies suck this year.
Hmm.
I can't think of one movie I saw that was really great. That was new, and I saw like four of them, and they were all meh. Um, this movie came out and it really knocked it out of the park for me. So part of my rating is the fact that it's one of the first movie that really hit the high notes, and it's secondly it's a comedy.
Hmm.
This is not a typical comedy that's not funny. This is a very funny comedy. And even in the third act, when most comedies from the 90s and 2000s, they kind of get serious. Or like, remember the great movie Knocked Up, where the first two acts of it were great, and you had just like all the guys with humor, and then the girl being a bitch. And then at the very end, it gets really super sappy and it gets terrible. The ending to Knocked Up, when Seth Rogen gets the job and he starts providing for the kid, stop the film, put it away. It's over. There's nothing more you can watch and enjoy, because at that point it turns into adulthood. And I don't watch adulthood for fucking fun. If I want to
Hmm.
watch something that's supposed to be funny, I'll pop in Best in Show or something like by Christopher Guest.
But didn't you get that feel a little bit when that one scene where the two brothers find out that they're going to both be dads because she's pregnant with twins?
Yeah, I want to know how the
One for
ending
each of
of that.
them.
I would like to see how that turns out.
It turned out, but she was holding the two babies in her arms at the very end.
Yeah,
Remember
I
that?
want to see
So,
the. I don't mean like that, Janet. I want to see how this movie continues, and with those
oh,
characters
okay.
in specific, you could do at least 6 episodes of a 23-minute show with just those two,
Hmm.
because that they were funny. They were
All of
funny.
them were funny. They each showed different personalities, and uh, they each learned something different from the experience they went through pretending to be transgenders. You know that they were experiencing life as on the other side of the fence or whatever. And the little tiny guy with the beard, they ended up being the one guy that was treated like shit, in school, because he was the towel boy or whatever. He was the one guy that was very successful and had a huge mansion and lots of money, and then he built his own basketball court in his house, and everybody made fun of him, and they still made fun of him even after he was rich. And
Yeah,
then the fact he's dressing up and he's doing the scenes, laying on the bed, doing the selfies and all that stuff. He was like the Dylan Mulvaney character, which I couldn't stop laughing. It was just so funny, and it was just great because they were making fun of how stupid. It's just stupid. The whole thing is just stupid that any man, just because he is taking shots, okay, puts
mhm.
on a wig or gets his hair done or gets electrolysis, and shaves off his Adam's apple and does all that stuff. Why?
There was a lot
Why
of
does that make
majestic
him a
Adam's
woman?
apples in this movie. There were so many majestic Adam's apples in this movie. I don't understand why anybody would get offended. I I I laughed at even at this scene here where he's just trying to get the kids to do something because the kids are staring at their phones,
Yeah,
and
they
then his
weren't interested in
car.
sports.
What?
I said they weren't interested in sports. I didn't want
No,
to even be there.
no, they're interested in social media. Um, I love how she tases him, and then afterwards she finds out that like he's an ally, and that just completely wrecks it. This scene
Yeah,
right here, like anytime this dude's got the wig on, I'm just not trying to fucking laugh. I'm sorry. He
yeah, it
plays it
was
very
funny,
well.
and he did great. That's why I said I would love to see outtakes, because I don't see how these guys, like the whole thing. I was laughing my ass off in the alley when
Mhm.
he had to take off his heels and run. Every so often, you had the cowboy, and there was like, how much?
This scene right here,
I
when they
couldn't
let the
help it.
8-year-old girl diagram it out
Yeah, the whole thing about all the different genders and how they
All
can.
this is the thought processes that
Mhm.
all this comes from public education and that little girl right there.
Yeah, and that's the truth, though. Think about it. You're 8 years old, and you know what gender fluid means, and you have to tell grown men what it means because life is going by. Okay, you're going to work, you're fixing stuff around your house, you're mowing your yard, you're doing all this different stuff, and the kids are going to school and getting indoctrinated. Okay, they're being
Mm-hmm.
told that you can go poop in the litter box if you feel like you're a kitty cat. We'll get you a litter box and bring it in here, stuff like that. This is what they're teaching our kids, and we're just doing our own thing and whatever. Do we not think that this is going to affect children in the future? What do you think is going to happen to that 5-year-old that thinks that he can be a girl today and a boy tomorrow, and he graduates from high school, he can barely read and write? What society are we going to have when you give a guy a job or a girl and you say, okay, we expect you to do this, this, and this in your job, and they're like, I can't do it, it's too hard. And then they leave. So who's going to take care of these people? Who's going to cook for them? Who's going to clean for them? Who's going to put them in a house? Who's going to do all this stuff? There's not going to be anybody around that can work except for the people whose parents cared enough to do homeschooling and actually teach them how to read, how to write in cursive, how to read cursive, how to add and subtract, and to get a part-time job and make money, learn how to do a bank account, all these things, and we're having to do it. Okay, we're paying taxes for teachers, but the teachers aren't doing it because they rather teach your kid how to masturbate and how to become a girl or a boy or be a furry and poop in a litter box in their room. That's what your teacher is being paid to do. I mean, think about it.
I will say that I am waiting for the opportunity when my friends leave the room and I can shit in their cat's litter box and clean my ass up real quick, and they can have a field day.
Just rub your
at
ass
the
on the
vet.
carpet.
I want to see them have take the cat to the vet tomorrow, and they're like, we took the cat to the vet, and the vet said he's doing fine, but he laid this turd out in the litter box is over a foot long. What cat does that? Mm-hmm.
But honestly, we're laughing about it and stuff, but this is the actual stuff that's going on in our schools,
Yeah, it is.
and in our neighborhoods. And then you
It
got churches that will let all this stuff fly because I don't know why. I just don't understand it.
But the thing is that if you find out that the church you go to allows this sort of shit, you don't have to go there. You're not forced to go there.
You don't even have to go to school now. But guess what? You're not going to school, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because your parents don't want you to be taught this crap. So your parents are having to teach you at home. But guess what? Your parents are still having to pay taxes for that teacher that's sitting on her ass doing her nails because she don't have any students now. But she still has a job because now you can't fire her because of the teachers union, stuff like that. And we just go, oh
well.
That's the way it is.
Here's Kevin Durant. He's an actor.
Mm-hmm.
Here's David Cohn. He was an actor in the movie last night. Janet thinks these two look like father and son.
I think they do. In the movie, if you saw the movie Wild Hogs, his character is a just to me, they remind me so much of each other. The resemblance is uncanny to me.
Yeah, I agree.
The same age. Because I'm pretty sure the ages of them at those two movies' time was pretty close.
And here's the interesting video. If you've ever watched Steven Crowder, there was some upsets earlier this year because Steven Crowder left the Blaze.com and he got offers from a bunch of other companies. The one he got pissed off about was the Daily Wire, and he lets everybody know what the Daily Wire offered and what he was going to forced to have to perform. And he's like, no, fuck you, Daily Wire. And Steve Crowder went over to Rumble, basically, and then made Mug Club bigger than what it is.
Yeah.
So our offer to Steven Crowder is a Jeremy Boring talk from the Daily Wire responding to Steven Crowder's Stop Big Con campaign and he walked through the Daily Wire's offer to Crowder. He goes through and line by line everything. It didn't help out much because they only got a 4 out of 10. But still, the fact that Jeremy went out there, it's like, no, Crowder, fuck you. Here's why we're offering you this, and here's why we want you to perform. We know what you're capable of. Stop doing this. And they had a dick slapping contest, and they eventually walked away.
Well, all you can do is lead somebody to water, but you can't make them drink, right?
Correct.
So either they want to believe what they want to believe, or they'll open their ears and listen. And some people might actually start going, golly, I can't believe it's gotten this bad. But the thing is that it has, it really has gotten this bad. Because remember way back when we first started doing this, and I was telling you that someone had showed me a video, and it showed a transgender, supposedly, I think it was just a drag queen, reading up to kids in kindergarten, right? And this junk was showing.
Mm-hmm.
Remember that? And I was like, holy shit, this is terrible. I can't believe California's gotten so bad. And they go, that's not in California. And I was like, what? And they go, that's Austin, Texas. And I went, oh,
yeah.
I couldn't believe it. I was like, oh my God, so many people. Oh, yeah, it's beautiful.
This is the rosary that my friend Mac gave us. And then today I received the pouch it belongs in. So I have something for my focus. I'm going to do my prayers and my thanks. Thank you, Mac.
Yeah, Mac, I can't wait to get mine. I'm gonna definitely take some pictures and send them to you for sure. And wear it. I'll wear it.
Poor dog. How's your dog doing there, Six Nations? Okay. If I could get those of you that have seen this movie, those of you who saw this movie, put your scores in the chat, because we've gone past the first hour right now, and I want to talk about what you guys, those of you that have seen this movie, I want to know what you think of it, because I think this movie is really just kind of like an enigma unto itself. It really did well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're both right and wrong. Stronger had a point in that. Yeah. I do like he's got the twins, the two twins on his show. The Crowder has the two black twins. I like those guys. But then you have the video of him yelling at his wife while she's pregnant and mowing the lawn with a push mower. Mm-hmm. Not how a man performs. Mm-hmm. Sorry.
That's a lot of men perform like that, and women stay with them because they don't think they have any choice.
Janet, you have it in your box.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna go to my mailbox tomorrow. Yay, I'm excited. My first thing I'll receive for Janet from Another Planet. I'm happy about it. You're going really fast. I'm trying to read them, but
Doggo's awesome. I was commenting on shit in the cast box. Yeah, I keep hearing about this prank you can do on your friends, where like when they leave the room, you go take a deuce in their cat box and just completely obliterate the cat box. And then like you quickly clean yourself up and go sit back on the couch the way you were, and then be like, the cat just pooped. And then just play it off as best as you can.
Well, the reason you said that was because I was making the comment about how in some schools, if a kid says, I feel like a kitty, they'll bring a litter box in for the kid to poop in and pee in the classroom. That's how bad it's gotten. So it's scary, people. That's why I'm hoping and praying that with this movie being successful, if it's successful, I'm hoping it does make really good money, because it really was entertaining, and it had a good story. The acting was, not perfect, but it was good for this comedy type of story, and for a comedy, basically. But it had a lot of good cameos in it. But the movie was actually entertainment. It was good to see something that made me laugh, and I really needed it. I really needed a good laugh, and it did make me laugh a lot. I laughed through almost the whole movie.
Yeah,
Great.
that was something I was hearing throughout the whole film was you laughing. I would comment occasionally on things. That's the point of us doing the watch party, because like if you find something funny, like if you find it funny, go ahead and comment. If nobody hears the movie, but we all hear you talk, I can always rewind it for like 10 seconds and go back to what we missed. No big deal. I'm okay with that. This is, that's the purpose of screen talking and commenting during the film. Also, Lady asks, why is Janet dressed like my Queen Pelosi on a 12-day bender?
Because I am a lady baller. And I'm showing that I have 5 o'clock shadow, but I have a beautiful wig on, so I'm all woman.
And all bean.
So I was basically saying that just because a man puts on a wig, okay, it doesn't make him a woman. And just because I drew on this mascara beard doesn't make me a man any more than this wig would make a man a woman. That is what I'm trying to say. And that's what's sad about our society right now, because society right now is telling you that if a man puts this wig on and says he's gender fluid just because he says it, he can go into my bathroom at the mall. Or if I'm in sports, he can go into my ladies' bathroom where I'm taking a shower. Just because he put on a wig and said, I'm gender fluid. So it's sad, but that's where we are in society. And I can get arrested if I don't agree with it.
Yeah.
So
that's a fun one.
There you go. That's where we are, people. And we have got to fight and take back our communities. We got to take our states back, and we got to take our federal government back by getting rid of judges and anyone else that thinks that this kind of stuff is normal, because it isn't. Can't tell me that when you tell a 6-year-old that I'm a man. Okay, I could walk in dressed just like this, and I could say I'm a man today, and that kid has to say Mr. to me, stuff like that in school. And each year after that, a child growing up thinking that anybody can be a man, anybody can be a woman, what is that doing to that child's psyche by the time that child is 18? And we have all these people that are going to be in psych wards or committing suicide because they don't know what they're supposed to be doing. They don't know who they're supposed to be because we're not giving them any stability as being a mom or a dad, right?
We've got a friend that I went to a picnic 2 Sundays ago, last Sunday, and his oldest son has got some issues. Both of his kids are kind of gifted. The oldest son is a little slow. Nice kid, a little slow. Would not be quiet the whole picnic. Everybody he was talking to heard about his Skyrim character.
Mm-hmm.
Until finally one of the girls from the next door home come over and he says, oh, you play some card deck game on their phone? And so they went off to lean up against the house and suck on Wi-Fi. Instead of playing in the yard and playing with the 5 dogs that are there, they're wanting to be played with, they were playing on their phones. Okay, whatever. But the whole time he said his name was Darmok, and I had to bite my tongue and say, I am Jarwad. I was at Tenegra, and nobody would have gotten it because they're not Star Trek nerds. Anyway, so I had to bite my tongue and not say that, but just the mental illness being allowed to perpetuate when this kid's introducing himself to strangers in front of his dad and his younger brother. The younger brother's a savant. He's a genius. He couldn't focus in college. He went to college after graduating at the age of 15 from high school. He's like, I'm ready to go do stuff. And so we're going to find out what he's good at this year, hopefully. He's only 16. He's got time.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, letting other people pretend is fine. When they force you to acquiesce and acknowledge their pretend, that's no cool for me. Soy-based Jeremy gives it a rating of 7.5 out of 10.
Mm-hmm.
Our friend Flady, the dirty campaigner, Says, for the current day, I give it a 7.5. If it was released in the 1990s, I would say a 6.5. I kind of agree with that because in the 90s, we had a lot more things. I remember a lot more sex comedies like American Pie, Something About Mary. I remember a lot of High Fives and Post Nut Clarity. I remember the good old days. Sorry. 75 to 80% for hitting the mark. It could go gallows humor if they weren't going for the normies for sure. Yeah, if this movie wanted to completely just placate the conservative base and just completely just wrap their arms around them and say, we love you. We love your Jeremy's razor money. We love your Jeremy's chocolate money. We love the fact that you're all Daily Wire Plus subscribers. And they went completely damn near X-rated humor. They would have driven off every normal person, every middle of the road, every centrist would have fled this film. As it stands right now, I'll just show this. And it's why I think this movie is hitting the mark after mark after mark after mark. Critics are saying 60, audience says 91.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying that normally doesn't happen. But this is a place where typically the critics get ratioed when this happens.
5,000 ratings so far. But
Yeah,
see,
5.
I'm giving it a higher rating than that. The reason I want to give it an 8.5, because if you saw that movie in the 80s, that exact movie that we saw, it wouldn't have been, to me, I wouldn't have rated it as high because all the movies were like that, making fun of everything around you, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if somebody would have told me back in the 80s, if I saw that movie, guess what? In 2023, that's reality. And I would have laughed and said, "Oh, you're a nut." You're a conspiracy theorist or whatever. But to think about it today and then see it, I'm seeing it every day, and I still cannot believe this is what people really think.
That's the scary part.
I mean, if I put this on my face and I went out in public and I went to a restaurant or whatever, and
if people were actually telling you you're stunning, you're brave.
Would someone actually say, Mr. Sir, can I get you a seat or something? Even if I'm wearing a skin tight dress, okay, and a mini skirt, and I put this on my face, I'm gonna have to make a video, I think, to see what people would do and how people would treat me. Because to me, if I saw someone dressed in a certain outfit and had a fake beard or whatever, I'd laugh at them and I'd probably get arrested for it. But to me, years ago when I was in high school and stuff, and I dress up, I would be a guy or whatever. It was for fun. It was funny. It was for Halloween, or it was for a costume party. But today, people are dressing up just like this and going in public and expected to be treated a certain way as a reality. Can you believe it? I mean, I am beside myself over this. This is a tragedy. I mean, honestly, I did this because it was funny. To me, this is funny that people think this is real.
Back in 1997.
Does that make me a horrible, traitorous Nazi? I mean, what are they going to call me? Because this is, to me, is ridiculously stupid.
Cosplay.
I think it's stupid. Yeah, it's cosplay, but I wouldn't even do this to go in public unless it was a joke, or I was portraying a character from a comic book or something. Totally not reality, but I wouldn't dress up like this to go shopping at Walmart and expect people to say, "Hello, sir, can I help you? What can I do for you today?" Or so, I don't know. I'm just saying, people are doing this and we're supposed to accept that they don't have a mental illness. I mean,
that's the thing right there. In 1997, I sat in a game store and I was playing a friend's game, in a tabletop game that we usually play in. And all of a sudden, in comes Richard, This guy's name is Richard. It doesn't get better than this. Richard comes in with boobs the size of Janet's, which Janet's are sizable. And he's about as tall as her. He's about 5'10". And he's wearing a blue dress. 97 in a blue dress. All I could think of was like, is he trying to be a Monica Lewinsky? Because he's got about the body right. He looks like Monica Lewinsky. He's about as attractive. Like, as she's gotten older, she's turned into a fine wine. But back in 97, I was pretty limp about it. Now I'm pretty excited. Seeing Richard in a dress did not make me excited. And I'm there just trying not to laugh. Like, what the fuck are you doing, Richard? What the fuck? And finally, John, after all of us have that moment of uncomfortableness where we adjust our balls and we're like, not trying to look at the fucking, do you see this fucking wart over here sitting in a chair? So we're looking at this and John's like, how can we help you? And Richard says, I'd like to play a game tonight. And so John's like, we had a few other players leave early. Would you like to choose one of these characters? And he hands him the characters.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm there, and he shuffles through the characters. I want to play this fighter. Okay, what do we call you? My name is Brenda. And that's where I lost it. I'm like, fuck you, I'm out. And I walked.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of how I deal with like somebody that wants to cosplay, which you cosplay fine. But if you're going to tell me I got to acquiesce and let you in the men's room and I have to avert my eyes when I know you're playing with your clan, but you're pretending to play with your balls, no, you're not going to lie to me like that. Sorry.
I mean, honestly, if you were in a mall, okay, you say you're in a mall and you're with a couple of your guy friends or whatever, and you guys had went to a football game or something, and now you're at the mall and you're supposed to pick up a few gifts for Christmas or something, right? And you guys, oh, well, I gotta take a leak. So you guys go in the men's room and someone dressed like me, okay, with like I said, with these tube socks on and heels or whatever. Okay, and this fake beard and do goofiness like this comes walking in to the men's room, and I go into a stall, but you guys have whipped it out or whatever. Would that make you feel uncomfortable?
I typically don't care.
I mean, but would you notice that somebody you don't know whether it's a man or a woman?
Listen, if you're there to take a shit,
your bathroom,
or if you're there to use the seat and you're in the seat and we don't have to see you use the seat, and as long as you're not there going, oh, I'm so thankful I'm a man with a penis, and then we hear you making bubbles through the clam,
yeah,
and we know a sigh of relief from a woman when a woman has a sigh of relief versus when a dude is there unloading the 3 gallons that is Camelback held. And dudes, when they take a huge piss, it's different because like sometimes there's like back spray, and the fucking urinals do nothing to stop your neighbor from getting it all over his shirt or his sleeve. You know what I mean? Women don't have this problem.
Mm-mm.
So you're there on the toilet role playing you're one of us.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't care. If you're using the toilet and you're being quiet, we're okay. But if you're in there and you're saying, thank God nobody thinks that I'm a woman, and you pee daintily or you fart and giggle, what the fuck? No, you're not a female and you really don't belong here. Go ahead and take your deuce, but we're out. And that's kind of how I felt when I was faced with Richard in a dress. Now, Richard doesn't really always wear a dress, but he does cross-dress a lot. And I'm like, if that's how you want to play,
does he do it because he wants to be a woman, or does he do it because he just likes to wear women's clothes?
I don't know.
Because what was that actor, Eddie Izzard? Okay, for a long time there, he would just dress up in, wear fingernail polish and lipstick and wear heels sometimes, and said he told people that he was.
Plenty of ladies' restrooms end up a mess. Yes, I've been a janitor before.
No, I'm not saying that women aren't nasty, because man, sometimes I go in there and go, holy shit, what's wrong with these women? You know. But the thing is, if a guy or someone came in to the ladies' bathroom when we were in there with your kids or whatever, and someone came in that I definitely would think was a man, but they had, a wig on, I wouldn't want them to be in there. I would ask them to leave. Okay. And I'd probably get
Okay.
arrested. But the
Yeah,
thing
whatever.
is, especially if I had children in there with me, or
Yeah,
someone else's kids,
I really don't want.
it's
I don't
totally
want
different.
to.
Just like we said, this whole movie tells you is that there's a difference between men and women. That's why men beat the women to death in sports, because they're physically different than women.
Yeah.
Physically stronger in every aspect. Even if it's a small guy and a bigger woman, he would probably still overpower her because he's just physically stronger, muscle mass wise and everything. So it's, to me, it's just, I don't know. I just think it's ridiculous. And I can't believe there's more. Where's all the women that wore the pussy hats and did all those stupid freaking parades and whatever else? Where are they when it comes to all the young girls that can't compete anymore because they're never going to win? They can't win against a man. Where are they? I don't see anybody whining about it.
No.
And it doesn't make any sense, because a man is a man and a woman is a woman, period. Your DNA is never going to lie. And we have DNA now. You can test for DNA. So if someone wanted to know if someone was a man or woman, all you got to do is shake their hand, wipe your hand down with a swab, and send it off. And you can tell if they're a man or a woman. You'd be able to tell. And they should bring back blood tests again, I think, for getting married. Because now you don't know whether you're marrying a man or a woman. You know what I mean? Because you got somebody that's telling you that you fell in love with and think that you're going to have a family with them one day, and then you find out you can't because they're not a woman. They're not really a woman, or they weren't born a woman. Just because they look like a woman in certain aspects, then that doesn't mean they really are. But I don't think the surgery is that good yet. I haven't really seen, that all after it's finished, that part of it for a guy, once it's been turned inside out or whatever. So, but I have seen a couple of women that supposedly had it, and it just looks, I would be able to tell. There's no way you could tell me that was a real, it doesn't look anything like a man's wiener. The surgery that the woman has, so it's bad.
Okay.
But it's reality now. That's our lives.
Janet, what would you rate this movie?
I already said 8.5 out of 10.
8.5. For those of you that didn't hear that before, which I didn't,
it's all right.
I think that's pretty impressive. Here's 2019. Men ain't shit. I can do whatever a man can do. Equality. I don't need no man. 2020, World War III starts. You boys want some sandwiches?
I'd much rather make sandwiches than have to go and fight.
Feminists, after finding out there will be World War III, oh, let me whip up the cake and let me put on this skirt for you. Mm-hmm. I love that. I love those memes. Women, feminists, in World War III memes are fucking high tier stuff. 85 for you. I'm going to rate it an 80 on a two-tiered system. I'm going to rate it an 80 for 2023 because it poked its finger in the eye of all the woke tards the people that just absolutely love pronouns and anything Zimzer, and the same schlups that are saying Thirsty Sword Lesbians is a valid role-playing game, or anybody who ever said trans women are real women. This movie scores an 80 for me. Mm-hmm. Because it doesn't go for the throat. It does not go all the way down. It doesn't fist the asshole completely. I'm going to say that as a normal comedy film, it's probably about a 74. a 74 because there's some jokes that should be funnier. There's some things they should have pursued harder. The ending has a kind of a light touch. I'm very disappointed. Like if we're doing like a 32 flavors of Nick Weiser Toxic Tuesday stream, I'm going to say this movie's got a 20% toxicity to it because of the lack of toxicity in this movie. For the fact that they all dress up as women, I don't hear a single person in this movie getting fucked. And Jeremy Boring, of all people, at the very end of the movie, when that little Quim is walking away from him, he should have picked her up, faced her ass in the skirt towards his cock, and given her a beat from behind hug so she could feel every wrinkle in his aging dick and balls. That way, she knew he turned him on, or at least he had his extends in. At least do that for me, Jeremy. But instead, you cuck piece of shit, you let her lick your face.
Mm-hmm.
What the fuck is that? Like, what type of woman licks a guy's face? Like, is that like a
woman that's pushing him around? Just like I said, I see him every day. All the women that are on like OnlyFans that takes your check, that takes your Visa card and stuff, and does whatever, I don't know what they do because I haven't really ever been on there. I've just heard stories about it, but it's no different than any of these women that I watched a documentary and it had a guy on there and he'd spent like $300,000. He jacked up his parents' credit card stuff. He was in his 30s and he lived with his parents, and he ended up killing both his parents. And he didn't kill his brother, but he would have if he'd been home, because his parents were threatening to prosecute him, right? But he was spending all that money on some girl that he met on like Instagram or something that was a virtual girlfriend. He never met her in person, but he was buying her stuff and sending her money and all that. And she was always making cute videos for him and talking to him on video phone and all that kind of stuff. But they never met. So basically, it was like a prostitute. Basically, she was like a prostitute for his money. But until men say "fuck it," I'm not giving you money. I'm not giving you shit. When the men stop doing that, okay, those girls won't be making any money. Okay, see, as long as Disney's making money or Marvel's making money or any of these big companies, and all these girls and guys that are using other people's feelings or whatever to make money, until they don't make money, it's going to keep happening. It's no different than anything else. You have to cut off just like what they did with Bud Light, right? They didn't show up. They didn't stand in line at the football games. There was nobody in line for Bud Light products, not one person. Same thing at Sturgis. Nobody showed up to the tent to buy anything, and it hurt them. That's how you hurt these people. We have to stop catering to these people that are cucking our country. They're taking away our family values. They're making it so our kids don't know who they are. And we're not being parents and standing up and saying, this is who you are. You're a girl or you're a boy, period. And fighting for our kids. Until we do that, I hate to say it, there's going to be 25, 30 more of these types of movies trying to wake people up because people are asleep.
Just the fact that like Jeremy's character in this movie sucks, I think. Like he does okay, but he lets the lady run around on him, and she goes and grabs Buck Sexton at the very end. He's the coach for the Cowgirls, which is kind of funny because Buck Sexton is a radio show host in the afternoons. Like one of the guys took over Rush's job. Literally, they bought the EIB.
Yeah.
This right here, $4.99 the first minute, 99 cents each additional minute was a warning for us Gen X kids. Yes. Yeah, he begged for this lady's attention too much. He should have just like figured out like you're in your 20s, and no offense, my daughter should be older than you, but
hey, that's exactly what I was talking about earlier, Bruce, was the fact that guys see a girl that's hot and that she's paying attention to him. Okay, even if she wasn't really a girl, let's say this was a transgender that's hot, that's had some ribs removed, Adam's apple taken off, whatever, and all this stuff. Spend a lot of money. I've seen a bunch of these on Instagram and stuff. They got 1 million followers, but they look like a woman because they spent a fortune to look like a woman for electrolysis and stuff.
Whatever happened to once there's the reveal, once we figured out that you've got a pickle and cherries, there should be
have a pickle. These are ones that went through the whole transition and now have no pickle. It's turned inside out. So now they have an innie instead of an outie, right?
You started with the danglers.
Yeah.
And that why?
But now they take this and they turn it inside out and bring it inside. So now it's inside. They have an internal boner, basically, right? But they look great, and the guy doesn't, he doesn't care. She gives good head or whatever it is that she's got, or he does. He gives good head because he's a guy. He's still a DNA proves he's a man, but he spent a lot of money, way more money than most women have. And how can a normal woman, just an everyday woman that takes care of herself or whatever, compete with a person that can spend $300,000 to make himself look good, and they have 1 million followers and they're making buku dollars, and then they're going to have guys falling all over them because they don't know that's not a man, or that it is a man, or whatever. It's sad. I mean, but that's our society, because you have to be good looking. You have to have blonde. I mean, I get all the time, all my blonde headed videos that I make, I get tons and tons of comments. Why? Because I'm pretty as a blonde. But if I was just walking the street without a blonde wig, I wouldn't get near that attention, right? But that's because that's what society has taught people. And a young girl thinking that, if I had red hair, I'd get more boyfriends. Or if I had bigger boobs, I'd get more boyfriends. You see what I mean?
How big they got to get?
It's the thing is that all of us think that we have to look a certain way because we're not teaching our kids to character should matter, having fun, laughing, being able to have a good time with someone. But when you date a girl that takes 10 hours to get ready to go out on a date, and then you spend every dime that you made in your paycheck every weekend to take her somewhere, why does she think that that's what she's going to get? If I look good for him, if I do this, he's going to spend lots of money on me. So I'm going to do whatever I have to look good for him, because that's all he wants is arm candy. He doesn't care if I have a personality, if I walk around going all the time because she's too stupid. She can't even have a conversation with you, but she looks good and she's good for the 5 minutes you guys are in bed together. Wow. Was it worth your whole paycheck? I guess so. Because that girl over there is half as pretty, but guess what? You could have way more fun with her. You go fishing with her, go to the movies and have an actual intellectual conversation. But see, when all your emphasis is on how hot someone is, well, now you're 40 and you're slowing down. So, okay, I guess I can go for a 7. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
There you go. That's why we are pushing people into thinking that you have to have all this other stuff just to compete with someone else.
I
know, because I grew up in it. Remember what I said? I had 4 sisters, one blonde and one blonde on both sides of me. And I was a brunette, tall and skinny, had no boobs. I mean, I had little boobs, but I was skinny. I was athletic. I had 2 sisters that had hourglass figures, shorter than me, like 5'7". And I couldn't, every time I brought a guy home, they were like, who's that? I never got a call again. But then I hit 30 and my boobs start to grow. I start to mature. I start to look like a girl. But guess what? My hair's still brunette. I'm not a blonde. So guys would walk past me to the blonde or to the redhead, even though they dyed their hair red or they dyed their hair blonde. That's just the way it is.
Janet, there are guys out there.
There are a few, but I'm saying overall, that's what we have. I mean, I've had people comment and say, I love this video. I want to see more of these videos. And I'm like, why? When I can make it a video about Walmart or Lowe's or whatever else, I can get 10,000 views in no time. And it takes, months and months to get 100 views on the other one. I'm not going to make those videos. That's the way it is. That's society.
For tonight's assignment, if you don't have these people, in your I just blackoutcoffee.com, be awake, not woke. It's
Mhm.
conservative. They say they've got conservative coffee. I'll tell you right now that it's great tasting coffee. This that I'm holding up is what I was supposed to send off to my mother. Instead, I got her a different 5 pound bag of coffee instead. So we kept this, and I found out I still had it. So okay, using it now. Is it a little bit old? Yeah, but you know what? It tastes great when you grind up the beans, and I love my grinder. Uh, these guys are fan fucking tastic. Blackout Coffee has consistent savings opportunities. Their Christmas sales live. You spend $50 to get 20% off on everything. Code Xmas20. That's after you spend $50, okay? Don't try going in there initially, be like, oh, I didn't get it. I didn't get it. Listen, you need to spend $50, then Xmas 20% off on every fucking thing they have in the shop. If you do $85, they send you a free Blackout Coffee keychain with $85 spent.
Mhm.
Okay, and that includes the 20% off if you spend $85 after the total free keychain. Okay. Now you also have opportunities for later on to get 10% off. I have a code. It doesn't really matter. Go ahead and use it or not. This is a great opportunity for those of you that love good coffee.
Mhm.
They also have tea and cocoa. Let's see. I've had this one. They're cherry and the raspberry chocolate.
Make good Christmas gifts.
Great Christmas gifts. Um, do they pay me a little bit? Am I appreciative? Absolutely.
Mhm.
Blackout Coffee is one of the two brands of coffees that I think is fantastic. The other variety of coffee is 22 Sierra, which I believe is out of Joplin, Missouri. If you're out of Missouri area, if you're close to Joplin, Missouri, go there instead. It's not really Joplin; it's in like Mount Pleasant. It's a little burb outside of Joplin. They've got a really nice place, a really good group of people, and their entire motives for being involved with coffee is just to help stop vet suicide. There are
Mhm.
some times where, like, I myself learn about a vet and I don't like this vet, so I only do 21 push-ups that day because maybe he'll be the one. And that's really mean, but I don't care. Maybe he'll Ryan Reynolds himself. Okay, so and we say Ryan Reynolds from now on because that's what you do. You don't want to say I want him to self-delete. No, that's how YouTube disconnects your money chain. Not that we get a lot of money from YouTube right now, but appreciate that. Those of you that help contribute or those that join the membership program, I really appreciate that. If you guys keep that up completely upon yourself, you don't have to do that. But if you like me, if you think that's great, I'm here for you. We're also going to be doing a stream like we're doing right now. I will be repeating Janet's stream or restreaming it on Friday nights onto my YouTube and onto my Rumble. If you guys ever see our sites go dark, I will get Janet on Rumble and have her stream there all the time. She'll learn it. She'll get it down. It'll take a little bit of work. My radio
A lot of work.
country, just about. It'll be fine. We're going to talk about this here, Soy Base Jeremy.
Mhm.
My review for this movie is 80% for 2023, for 74% for any year like 1998 or before.
Mhm.
Watch it. Okay, here's the big question. Is this movie worth a Daily Wire subscription? By itself, no. It's not.
Mhm.
Is Daily Wire worth $149 a year? Daily Wire has just started to do this. So I would say wait 3 to 6 months.
Mhm.
Hey, dude, stop this. You've already got like 7 or 8 of these. Stop that, Crafty Gamer.
Aw,
Um,
sweet.
thank you very much. You did not have to do that, but I really appreciate it, my friend. I really do. Let me go to my YouTube real quick because I think he might have put there's a special thing that whenever people do their anniversary, uh, They sometimes have a yep, member for 1 month. Somehow I have a fan. Thank you, sir. You didn't have to do that. Appreciate you. I really do, man. Grumpy Old Ninja Kintaro was gifted a membership by the Crafting Gamer. Awesome.
Yay.
We'll be streaming everything we do together on Rumble on my channel at the very least, because as of right now, there's too many people we both know that are getting their channels. The YouTube ban hammers like, we're going to get rid of your channel if you do more videos like this exposing Jeremy Marsh, or we're going to get rid of your channel if you keep talking about how trans women are actually men.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, believe it or not, I've got an email that said that I'm not supposed to say pedophile. I'm supposed to say minor attracted persons.
Yeah, you know what? We're going to say pedophile.
And also, I got another one yesterday when I tried to upload a video about the whole ping pong comet pizza place, right?
Mm-hmm.
All this stuff coming out. And I was telling Bruce about this before we started tonight. I tried to put a video up, not a short, an actual video that talks about all the stuff that's coming out, right? And it has Hillary Clinton's name and Podesta's name and some other people's names that were involved with running that place, and the people that the children and whatever else is brought there, right? Mm-hmm. And I tried to put that up, and YouTube told me it was considered cyber bullying. So they said I couldn't do it. But because I hadn't had any other strikes, that this time they would let me off for it. Well, I tried to put it on TikTok, wouldn't let me. I tried to put it on Instagram, wouldn't let me. But guess what? They let me put it on X. So and X, I uploaded to X, and it's there. So that shows me that X is breaking away from all these other channels that want this. See this? See what I look like? This is what they want us all to look like. They want all of us to look like freaks or Barbies, right? With no genitalia, just zombies walking around doing what we're told and believing whatever they tell us. And as long as we let them, this is what we're going to get right here. Men wearing wigs and women with fake beards. Yeah. And fake genitalia. Oh, it's just ridiculous. But this is reality, people. This is not a joke. This is real. This is what our government thinks of us. Right here, what I'm dressed as. That's why I wanted to wear this, because to me, this is what they're pushing on our kids. I should be able to go dress just like this and teach your 6-year-olds. Doesn't that make you feel safe for your kids? I mean, think about it. This is what we got. It doesn't make me feel safe.
So we're going to look just at what they've got here. Here's the movies they offer. LADYBALLERS, Convicting a Murderer. This is coming in 2024. I think this might be something we are familiar with, or maybe it's completely new. I'm not certain. This is a funny movie.
That's really good. What is a woman?
Yeah. I'm waiting on this right here. I hope that's great. I'm hoping this is as good as the previews look. It looks great. This is a movie that came out a while back. This is available if you want to watch it on Daily Wire. Also, there's another one called Terror on a Prairie, which I haven't seen yet.
Yeah, Gina Carano one. Yeah.
Right here.
It's right there. Mm-hmm.
Is this worth the $149 for the current price? Probably not. However, give it 3 months. I think in 3 months, they're going to have the same value as possibly what the Blaze TV has. And mm-hmm. Blaze TV is actually what I used to have. I really liked it. I need to see this because I like Adam Carolla.
Is he the actor that was in that vampire movie?
No.
Oh, okay. Because he kind of looks like in that picture.
Adam Carolla was on The Man Show with Jimmy.
Yeah, I loved The Man Show. Remember I told you the girls on trampolines in slow motion?
Yeah.
The girls jumping. I just love that show. I used to laugh my butt off.
When we get the Gamertopia set up, Janet,
Mhm.
outside the fest hall, we'll have your trampoline where you can go jump on it all day, and we'll have a bleacher
Well, I
section.
can do that. If once it gets warm, I have one of those smaller ones with the net around it. I'll just have to go out and do some slow motion jumping. But
All
it's
right,
already
guys.
been done. See, I want to do something that someone else hasn't done yet.
That's the movies on here. Not saying the movies are all that's worth. Just
Well, not yet, but it's independent. They're
yeah, it's
trying. They're
independent.
starting.
I like this guy, Andrew Clavin. I try to listen to him as much as I can. He's pretty funny. Matt Walsh, he's not bad. He's actually pretty good. Michael Knowles, I like him. These two, I can take him or leave him. And Ben Shapiro is occasionally funny, occasionally
His voice,
thought-provoking.
though.
Yeah, his voice kills me.
His voice is so irritating, but I don't like to say that to anyone because my voice is not. My voice is kind of irritating too.
I've never heard a man complain about your voice, Janet.
Okay, well,
And I don't hear women complain anyway. That's just how I'm wired. This is a new show coming out with the Pegu people, the end of the world. This is another Dr. Jordan B. Peterson. Jordan P. Peterson has got a lot of stuff on here, so you can't already tell. And then they've got this thing called Bent Key, which is a kids shows. PragerU has a master's program, which they do basically educational shows. I have no idea who this is. She looks cute. 5-minute videos. Those are usually pretty good, pretty informative. I've seen a few on YouTube before they pulled them. Let's go to Bent Key, see what they've got there. Oh, okay. So in addition to the $149, you get to pay an additional $100 to have kids Bent Key Adventures curated, hundreds of hand curated episodes, safe and ad-free viewing. Every Saturday they put up new episodes and access across multiple devices. I've never heard of these. Clangers, Chipchilla, Runes, looks like a D&D cartoon style thing. And Mabel McClay, no idea.
I've never seen any of them.
Nope, not familiar with it. Sorry. But
you got to remember, every single streaming thing that, like Netflix, when it first started, remember everybody said it was going to flop because you had to have DVDs sent to your house and then no one's going to send them back and all the different things. Guess what? Look at it now. It's huge. Yeah. Remember when what was it? Discovery Channel first started. Then they had 19 of them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So Court TV. I'm trying to think of all and then there was, what was the one with Married with Children? Fox. When Fox first started, everybody was making fun of it.
Yeah.
Okay. And it had great shows. Married with Children. It had Mad TV. It had In Living Color. It had a whole bunches of stuff on it that was very entertaining. So, if you don't want to do it right now, wait a couple months, but keep going back and checking, because the only way we're going to get more entertainment, this type of stuff, is if we support it. Just like us pulling our money away from Bud Light and Disney and some of these other e-holes, right? We have to put the money back somewhere else. And I've always said, I love independent movies. I like them because they aren't being told an agenda that they have to push by the producers of a big company. So I just, to me, I'd rather have my money go to independent businesses. Anyways, myself, I'm not saying it's the best quality of everything, because it isn't. It's the fact that I'm not being fed something. It's my choice. Like, what was it? Paramount Network. Okay. It had a really good show. There's only one that I know of, and that was what was the name of that? Yellowstone.
Yellowstone was really good.
But the thing is, if they don't offer good stuff, they're not going to stay up. They're not going to make money. But if they're doing something good and you can afford it, to me, it's worth paying the money for it. laughing at myself because I'm seeing the little white thing starting to, my beard started to disappear.
I don't know. I think Flady already mentioned this. He's not 100% with Daily Wire crew because they've done some things or said some things that's not like completely on the level. They come across as they want to sell to conservative people, and they could be the media outlet for people that like Black Rifle Coffee, but Black Rifle Coffee was to be marketed at conservatives and ex-law enforcement and military, but yet it was made by people that really just want to grift. And I hope the Daily Wire is not the Black Rifle Coffee of the media. And I think a lot of us feel that way. We typically seem to enjoy the content they've got up there. And so far, Ben Shapiro has been I don't give a fuck about your feelings. I'm here to give you facts. I'm pretty okay with that. If he continues to sell that, I'll buy it. I'll be happy to pick this up when it expires in 12 months or 11 and a half months. That's fine with me. I like the Blaze media as well. I'm a big fan of the Blaze. And
see, the one thing I want to add is if you like a couple of their shows and then one person says something from one of their shows, let's say you got 25 people that work for this one independent little deal, right? And one of them says, I think everybody should get the jab or whatever. Yeah, I'm not going to agree with them. But if he's the only one out of the rest of them, then to me, it's still worth my money. But
yes,
when one of them, this is the difference. When one of them says, just one from that whole group of people tells me or anyone else that everyone should be forced to get the jab, then I won't give them my money. See the difference?
exactly.
When a person says, I want to get the jab, that's one thing. But when they start trying to force me to get it, even though I don't want it, that's when I change my mind about them. Because anytime people like everybody's saying stuff about Trump, right? Trump is the one that was overseeing all that stuff, which it wasn't really. It was really Pence. Pence is the one that was in charge of the warp speed, whatever. But Trump never said everyone has to get it. He didn't say that. He said it was optional. If you wanted it, you should be able to get it. You should have access to it. But when the new administration came in, they said everyone has to get it or you're going to lose your job. Everybody in the military had to get it. Now what they're doing, they're hurting, so they're trying to get people to come back and give them their back pay and everything back and not make them get the jab. So, they're backpedaling big time because it's hurting them. Just like I said, if you don't pay the money for the shit, you'll start getting better stuff because they want the cash, they want the money. But why should we pay for something we don't want? I don't think we should. We just have to outlast them. That's the thing, and we can last longer if we stick together. I think we can do it.
History Channel is mostly World War II for the longest time and still has some educational stuff. Not a lot of it anymore. Although, if you are into cryptid stuff, there's almost more cryptid stuff on the History Channel than there is on YouTube.
What's cryptid stuff?
Bigfoot, Sheep Squatch, Glimmerman.
Oh, I love that. I like the History Channel.
Okay, I mean, the History Channel and Military Channel used to be like the shows to watch. Mm-hmm. And for the longest time, history was nothing but just World War II, World War II, World War II. Now, there is a guy that everybody, if you like being a good human, you should watch The Fat Electrician. Mm-hmm. And he's also in San Antonio once a week, I believe, do a podcast for Unsubscribe. Mm-hmm. Which is funny in of itself. But this guy here is going to school. Follow me here. He's going to school because since World War II, all of the people writing history books for kids are anti-American. So he's going for his either master's or doctorate. Right now he's just got his bachelor's, I believe. and he's done a very good job of educating people. His last video was on the Berlin airlift situation, where after World War II, we carved up Germany, and a bunch of countries had it. And then Berlin, being Germany's capital, had a bunch of people that carved it up, and the Russians had one half, and you had France and the UK and America pretty much taking care of the other half. And so everybody's trying to get over from East Germany to West Germany, or East Berlin to West Berlin, and fucking USSR is like, no, we want you all to discover communism. Fuck your capitalism. And so they isolated it. So they've got all the roads, all the waterways. And so after some time, we figured out how to drop like so many tons of equipment, including coal, into Germany, into Berlin itself, and keep those people alive. And we flex the fuck out of communism. Like, look at us, we're capitalists. Look what we can do. And they were landing a plane and getting it emptied within like 7 minutes. And then we made bigger planes, and we still were able to get things unloaded really fast. It's kind of funny because there are some Germans working on American aircraft with like 2 years before. They're trying to shoot them out of the sky, and now here they are. They're dependent upon Americans to bring them food. But yeah, Married with Children and Living Color, Mad TV. I love that shit. Me too. Tulsa.
Yeah, Mad TV was funny. You know, look at I Can Do with Stewart and his mom.
Matt Thompson hits the trifecta for me for Daily Wire. You got Walsh, Andrew Clavin, and Robert Peterson, or Jordan Peterson. I love those three. Fucking Matt Walsh is funny on some things. I don't watch all of his stuff, but usually, like, if I give him 4 minutes, he usually keeps me the whole video. Clavin he's a saint. He's a fount of knowledge. But the Fat Electrician, I put his link in here. He wants to be a teacher so he can write history books and get people to where they like America again, because his YouTube channel is dedicated to that, and he's doing really a lot of good for that. If more people knew about him and showed his stuff off, I think that'd be badass. All right. Next week. No, he's not Canadian. I can answer that for you.
I don't know what we have next week.
Really?
Yeah, I don't remember. I forgot to look before
it's okay. Miss Janet, we have a special guest with us next week. Next week is a girl, a guy, and a movie with Escanaba in the Moonlight.
Ah, so Felix.
Yep. Soy Base Jeremy will be with us here on the panel, and we're discussing a movie
this movie.
It's pretty good. It's actually like a fairly competent, feel-good holiday movie. And I just threw some things together that typically I hate when they're put together.
Mm-hmm.
But no, this is a good movie. It's got Harv Presnell, Jeff Daniels. Jeff Daniels directed and wrote it. Joey Albright, Wayne Parker, Kimberly Guerrero. What?
I haven't seen anything with Jeff Daniels since he was in that movie with Jim Carrey.
Yeah, I avoid those movies. I hate the Dumb and Dumber films. I'm sorry.
Okay, well, that's that last movie I've seen with him in it.
This is what kills me. When you look at the people in this movie, like, it looks like they're all a bunch of UPers. Like, nobody has heard them or seen them. We have no photos of these guys. But this is a movie about a man that wants to just get his one kill while he's in the cabin for the holidays. Mm-hmm. And this made me laugh just seeing all this.
Oh, he's a hunter?
He's not a hunter. He's a regular Joe, but he's like everybody else in Minnesota. They are in Michigan. They've got a cabin where they go hunt out of. Mm-hmm. But this movie kind of made me laugh, and it's got some really good parts to it. I think you'll like this movie. Sunday night, 7 o'clock, not 7:30. 7 o'clock, we'll start watching this movie in our Discord. Everybody invited. If you have questions, please ask. We'll be more than happy to get with you and talk with you about this. I found this movie to be a lot of fun. Actually, it's got a 6.2 on IMDb, and that's pretty high for like most feel-good holiday movies. You don't see those get that high.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I don't know. So I can't wait to see it. It's a new movie for me again. I've been lucking out on getting to see so many movies I haven't seen.
The new History Channel. Vikings were trans and the Queen of England was black.
Oh, yeah. I heard that. Didn't that bomb?
What?
Didn't that actual show bomb, that one?
I think it did.
Oh.
Yeah, I like most of the guys he streams with. The Fat Electrician had Evan Hafer on for a little bit a couple weeks ago, and he was jarring at best. I watch every single one. Thank you, sir. Anyway, so come with us next week. We'll bring our friendliest internet troll we've got that's regular, because Kronos is not a regular. As much as I love Kronos, he's got stuff going on. I think he works at night.
Yeah, from what I heard, he works nights. So
definitely hits home. I've been around. Yeah, he lives up in Michigan. This is his life. You just need to adapt to that livelihood. We just need to see you when we have our meetup. You'll be there in a deer skin with your little deer head antler, and
yeah.
So for those of you that enjoyed tonight, make sure that if you like what we have, make sure that you're subscribed. If you could, I want you guys to subscribe to Janet if you're not already subscribed to Janet, because she's just that badass. And you get shorts from Janet. Janet puts out shorts like I put out oxygen.
Yeah, that's my main thing I do on my channel. Besides the shit show, that's my other thing.
We'll be adapting more and more into Rumble if Rumble's going to keep having us as a free speech platform. If YouTube keeps constricting speech, we'll have to eventually abandon it. Sorry, YouTube, and we've been partners for a while there. I was uploading things back in 2009, but if you're going to do this, YouTube, if you're going to try to tell me how to address people, we're just going to have to split. Thank you for the bonus money. That's all I have to say. We do have next week Moonlight into Escanaba, into Moonlight, and then December 26th, is it? 27th? No, my bad. Janet, do you want to do a stream on Christmas night or no?
I don't know what will be going on, so probably not. I don't think it'd work for me.
We'll keep that one TBH. If nothing else,
if nothing's going on, yeah, we can do something.
It's a Monday night.
I like that.
Yeah, it's a Monday night. I'm pretty certain my wife will be in the other room playing with her crafts or outside watching her movies. One of the two. So I'll probably be over here. If nothing else, we will stream and we'll do something on the 1st of January as you're going through your muddled hangover. Blade Runner, 1982.
Yeah, I'm excited.
And I'm looking forward to this because I believe I have access to the final cut. So we'll be watching that version. Unless somebody says, no, let's find the old theatrical version. Okay, fine. I just like Blade Runner. I don't give a shit. I love Blade Runner. January 8th, the McMartin trial with James Woods.
I haven't seen that.
Neither have I. And then I'm taking January. The McMartin trial is a suggestion from Flady. The 15th, 22nd, and 29th, we're going to find some movies from Philip K. Dick and review and watch those. And then after that, I'm giving you back every other week selections. February 12th is A Blast from the Past, which is a movie with Brendan Fraser, everybody's hero, and Alicia Silverstone, which was a hottie back in the 90s, and she's still pretty hot as a mom today. And then the 26th, rounding up my end of February, is Romeo and Juliet, the 1968 version.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we have planned so far on a schedule. I don't believe we have anything else set up for that. So if you guys have picks, go ahead and give your recommendations. Janet and I will look at those and figure that out. But like I said, I'm picking 3 movies from Philip K. Dick to round out January, because Janet had Flannery movies all throughout November. Yep. And I liked most of them. Mm-hmm. They were really good. You know, it's if I would have seen that at the age of 18, Powder would have been like a pretty passable movie. But I just don't like it now. Mm-hmm. And that's okay. I mean, I really thought that I would have loved The Cowboy Way. Mm-hmm. At age.
You did. 40. I did. When I was young, I thought it was great. But then when I watched it as a grown-up, you're like, this is one of the dumbest movies I've ever seen.
I think when the cop escorted the man driving a truck and he decides to crash the bar, that was where I checked out. Mm-hmm. But I don't want to go further on that, because that is a sad, sad memory of like, I really enjoyed it. I even told my parents to watch this movie.
Uh-huh. Funny, isn't it?
Yeah.
How wisdom changes you.
Yeah. Soy-based Jeremy. He says he might not be able to join a panel due to him watching his niece and nephew. Okay, so Soy-based Jeremy.
You need to let us know so we can move it back.
Yeah, if this is something that you want us to still do with you, we can. If you want us to go ahead without you, we can. If you want to be part of it on a different date, we can.
Yeah, just let us know.
Othello with Lawrence Fishburne was solid.
I haven't seen that one.
Neither have I. This one here has a special part in my heart for me, because there was a Romeo and Juliet in 97 with Leonardo DiCaprio and the girl from My So-Called Life, I think. Mm-hmm. She was also the love interest in Terminator 3.
I never saw it.
It's not bad. It's not bad. I mean, it's not great, but it's Shakespeare still. It's still pretty good. Othello with Hopkins was great. I've seen that one. Never liked the trailer for The Cowboy Way, so I never bothered. Much Ado About Nothing with Keanu Reeves is great.
I've not seen that either.
So Jeremy, if you want, like, at least be there with us on the night we watch it. Now, like, for those of you guys that don't know, our friend Flady is a frequent contributor to our selections, and a lot of the movies he selects are movies he watched as a young man or with his family when he was growing up, and they just kind of have a special part. And so he's like, here, I recommend this. This is what we did as a family thing, and that's why we got the Bugsy, and we had a few others. And his recommendations are pretty fucking solid. So, I mean, if Flady comes up to me like, hey, you got to try this out, or hey, I'll do this. Much Ado About Nothing with Sam Waters from Law and Order was great too. Mm-hmm. Damn. Sundays are free. Mac Thompson said Othello with Lawrence Fishburne. I'm interested in that because Lawrence Fishburne, there's 2 Lawrence Fishburne movies I want to present to Janet. One of them is Othello, and the other one is Band of the Hand.
I've never seen either one of them, so
I just hit a nerve with part of our crew because I said Band of the Hand, like, oh my God, you're taking me back to 1986.
I haven't seen it.
Okay, it's an early Michael Mann movie, if I remember right. Mm-hmm. Okay. So we'll watch those two films probably in March. No Boys in the Hood? If we watch Boys in the Hood, then that'll be a good September film. And then the following week, when we go into October, we'll do Leprechaun in the Hood.
I don't get it.
Have you ever seen the Leprechaun film, Janet?
You mean the one with the little guy that's killing everybody? The horror
Yes.
movie? Yeah, I've
Yeah.
seen that one, but I
Okay,
didn't know what you meant.
did you ever
Yep.
see the one where the leprechaun was in the hood?
I don't
Okay.
think so. I don't remember.
Okay. We'll have to watch that.
Hungar's in there.
Yes, Hungar's here, and I have one of Hungar's newest shirts. Not his newest, but a new shirt of his where you have Pepe the Navigator, and he's a stage 3 navigator in the Dune outfit. It's great. All right. So, Janet, do you have anything to say before we close down the auditorium for the night?
I thank you for joining us, and I hope you watch this movie because it was really, really funny. I laughed a lot. It's sad that we have to laugh at our predicament that we're in, that our country's in, because we're screwed basically until we fight and take it back, take our society back. This is what we get to look forward to. Every day, this is what we're going to get right here. So let's fight, people. That's what I'm saying.
My name is Bruce, and between me and Janet, we try to do a pretty shared podcast. I don't try to be a dictator on here. We really appreciate the fact you guys spend 2 hours with us a week. Yeah, I know you always can't do that. Really appreciate those of you just spend 5 minutes with us. I think that's great.
Mm-hmm.
Some of you have gone further than that. You didn't have to. Really appreciate that. Very appreciative. But just the fact you guys have been on this ride with us for over 75, 80 episodes, you didn't have to do that. And we really appreciate the fact we've got a good group of people around here. I don't want to say the word community. It sounds too communist, but we've got a good group of people that kind of are part of our chat family. And on Sundays, it's really nice to watch a movie, and then afterwards, people kind of hang out in the Discord after, and they get a chance to just kind of voice their opinion or talk about things or something. And if there's anything that we can do, like if there's something that we can help with, we want to be part of the solution. Plan. We a gang. Posse. Coterie. Bruce, if I may ask, you should watch Once Upon a Time in America.
I don't think I've seen that one.
Hold on.
Yeah, that reminds me of a movie, The Clan of the Cave Bear. Remember that?
I do.
And that was with, what was her name? The real pretty blonde.
Daryl Hannah.
Yeah, Daryl Hannah. That's right.
Yeah. So, community is our word, not the commies. Don't let them take it. Mob movies in May. You know, that might work out pretty well because this is a Prohibition era Jewish gangster returning to the Lower East Side of Manhattan 35 years later, where he has to confront the ghosts and regrets of his life. And it's directed by Sergio Leone with Robert De Niro, James Woods, and Elizabeth McGovern. That would be a fine movie to watch in May.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. It's got 2 guys that recently passed, and shit. It's got Treat Williams and Danny Aiello. And Treat Williams, if you didn't watch the movie Deep Rising, there's a few others that he was in. Some were kind of schlocky. They were good, though. And Danny Aiello, who is one of my favorite Italian actors. He was in Fort Apache, The Bronx. Probably not his best role, but he was in it, and he's the reason why that movie gets into the third act with as much tension as it does. I love that film. It's also got Robert De Niro, who is a good actor but a shitty person. Sorry,
Yeah.
it happens.
Nobody's perfect.
Yes. All right. Thank you for the suggestions. And me and Janet are going to adjourn for the night. We thank you ever so
Bye.
much for watching. Please come back next week when we open the auditorium again for this wonderful presentation. Until then, Masterpiece Theater will be out.